Am I live? I'm live. The hills are alive with the sound of music. Okay, no, you don't want me to sing. I don't so much sing anymore. Hi, everybody. It's Liz Dawn. I guess I do like to sing because I'm singing. So who's there? Shani is here. Hi, Shani. If you're here, say hi to me. And would somebody let me know if my sound is coming through okay? Is the sound okay? Now we have 7 people watching. 7! There's Wendy Rippentrop. Rippentrop. That's such a great last name. I like that last name, Rippentrop. Okay, who's here? I've got 2 screens going, so I'm trying to cut down the glare from this screen over here so I can see everybody there. Diane is here, Shani and Wendy and Susan. Hi, Susan. Hey, you're doing the Let It Go program. How has that been going for you? I have to tell you, I am so loving it. The Let It Go program with Denise Linn. And for those of you that didn't sign up for it, I'm just going to hope that she's going to do it again because it's really a fantastic program. We're learning to let it go. There I am singing again. We're learning to let it go. And sorry. My eyes are over here because I'm shutting windows down so I can get less glare. Oh, no, I know what I can do. I can just minimize everything. There we go. Duh. Teresa's here. And someone says, hi, Liz, the sound is great. Laguna Beach in the house. Seriously? Well, that's not even nice, Teresa. It's 100,000 million freaking degrees here, and you're near the beach. That's really lovely. And we're in the desert with very dry, hot weather. But when everybody else is freezing in the wintertime, we have gorgeous weather. Oh, you would do it again. Yeah, I can't believe we're on day, what are we on, day 14? Oh, somebody's saying I did a fantastic job this morning and let it go. I'm thinking that's Walker. Walker, is that you? Ha, ha, ha. Yes, I love that, Teresa. Ha, ha, ha. You're like, ha, ha. I've got gorgeous weather. I lived in Laguna Beach. Let me see. I lived in Laguna Beach for about 3 or 4 months when I was fresh out of college. So I was 21. And I lived in Laguna Beach for a little bit. And I worked at the Virginia Dare restaurant and coffee shop. I was a waitress, and it was way before they did all these fancy coffees, but we had this massive coffee machine, like this massive brass, like espresso, cappuccino, all kinds of foofy coffee things. And it was way before the time that anybody was doing that. And I'll never forget that in Laguna Beach. And I used to have to walk down, and I didn't really drive very much because you could walk everywhere there. It's beautiful. And you're freezing cold in South Africa. Really? You're freezing cold in South Africa, Shani. Well, it's pretty toasty here. I shall send you some hot vibes. Okay, that's my hot vibes. All right, water break. Is everybody hydrating a lot? We have to hydrate a lot here in Arizona. Susan Torres, thank you so much. That was really fun talking about, I love talking about the whole dating thing and relationships. I did a presentation for those of you that aren't a part of the program. I did a presentation this morning in the Facebook group that we have for the Let It Go program with Denise Linn. And we have 1,125 people in this class. Our goal was maybe 400 or 500 people might be interested, right? And so 1,125 people have joined us for this class. And so every morning there's a different presenter. So Denise does a presentation. So Denise Linn is running the class. It's called Let It Go. And it's this 28-day journey to clutter clearing. And we started it on August 1st. And so every single day there's a different soul coach teaching. There's a different clutter clearing lesson. And then someone comes into the Facebook group, and it's Denise on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And the rest of the time, we've assigned different teachers to come in and talk about different things, their areas of expertise, which has really been wonderful. And, oh, Janice, I haven't talked about that yet. So as I was saying, yeah, so today I got to teach a class, and I was very excited because it was really fun teaching all about the dating stuff. I love talking about that. Okay, somebody's saying it's been quite cold here in Vancouver, Canada, but today the heat has returned. Oh, nice. You know, I kind of like it like in the 60s. Like that's like 60s and low 70s. That's like the perfect temp, isn't it? Like, what's your perfect temperature? That is like my perfect temperature. It's not too cold, it's not too hot, but I like it in the 60s because like at night it gets down to the 50s or the 40s and it's nice. It's a little bit chilly. I like that. And of course I'm talking Fahrenheit. All right, so dun, da, da, da. How many of you have been reading the book of the month? I want to see thumbs up or yes. How many of you have been reading? Ta-da! City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. Oh, that's Susan. You like the presentation? You aren't even single. Elizabeth Gilbert. This has been the book of the month. If you haven't gotten the book, Tanya, I forgot to tell you, Tanya, if you want to post it here, if you haven't gotten the book, because at the end of the month, we're going to have a whole discussion about the book. Now, I chose this because Elizabeth Gilbert is one of the most exquisite writers. If any of you have had a chance to read her work, she's just this amazing poetess. Poetess, did I say that right? Poetess. I know, Teresa, I've read it already too, and I'm reading it again because it's really fun to go through it again. And she just melts your heart with the way she knows how to slam down the English language in the most exquisite way. Like I just love reading her writing because she just has a way of describing things that just melts you into the experience. And I chose City of Girls because we've just come off of reading a couple of heavy books, and I thought, wouldn't it be fun to do a fiction, do something fun and frivolous, although part of it is not fiction, part of it is nonfiction, because she did so much research. The whole book is about women showgirls in New York City in the 1940s. And it's about all of their adventures through what they go through with love and sex and cigarettes and showgirls. And there's guys in it too. So guys don't feel left out. It's a wonderful book for men and women. It's a fabulous book. It's a fabulous adventure. And I'm just loving it. Again, it's like just reading her words. It's like, oh, it's just like manna from heaven. She just has this beautiful, expressive way about her. So if you haven't picked it up, make sure and pick it up. So I wanted to read a couple of things from it. I don't want to ruin it for everyone, but how many of you are reading it? Is anybody in the process of reading it? Or you, Teresa, you said you read it last year. What was some of the favorite takeaways from the book that you got from it? Because it's not just a story. And we're posting the Amazon link right there if some of you want to go and grab the book. What were some of your favorite, if you've read it, tell me what some of your favorite takeaways from it. My favorite takeaway from it, and I'm hoping this gets into the hands of younger up and coming women, women in their 20s and 30s, because this book really, and I don't know how to say this delicately, so I won't. There is, and I've had it come at me at many times, different times in my life, that women are shamed. We are shamed in society for our sexuality. And it's okay for a man to be sexually adventurous, but it's not okay for a woman to be, because then we're called all kinds of names. And I really don't like saying the names, so I'm not going to. So there. Y'all know what names I'm talking about. And what I love about this book is that it's so empowering in teaching women of all ages. And I certainly think this is appropriate for especially women in their 20s, really to feel empowered that it's okay to be adventurous, safe and adventurous, and to step into being empowered by not allowing society to degrade us for, degrade women for our own needs and desires. And that's really no shame. Thank you. That's it, Teresa. No body shame, no sexuality shame, no shame about who we are in the world. And it does this for men as well, because there are some relationships, there's a men, gay relationships in it. There's straight relationships in it. There's lesbian relationships in it. So there's a little something for everybody. A little bit wildness and sexiness for everybody, but it's certainly, appropriate to, to women who are just stepping into their own, women who are stepping into their own sexuality. Women, not children, women. Thank you. I want to clarify that. Adults, and really be empowered by who we are in the world, because all throughout time, women have been shamed for who we are. We've been objectified. We've been bullied for basically making statements that we do have needs, we do have desires, we do want to be a little bit adventurous or promiscuous without having to be called names. Oh, Janet, you didn't get it. Okay, once you get it, you're going to be, it's literally 500 pages of deliciousness. It is 500 pages of deliciousness. And I love my copy. This is such a special copy, because before the book was published, before any book is published with a big publishing house, they print something called a galley copy. It's an advanced, uncorrected copy, and it's a proof, and it's not for sale. And guess who has one of those copies? And that's what that stamp is right there on the book. It's an advanced, uncorrected copy. And Elizabeth Gilbert gave this to me. She even signed it. She gave me my copy at one of our events that she attended, that she was speaking at. She brought this for me because she knew that I was just itching to read it. So I have actually, I have no idea how much the full copy is. The full length one is. This is 466 pages. If anybody has their copy in front of them, I'd be interested to know what the final version came out, if they cut anything out. But I've got the unedited version in my hot little hands. I imagine that, by this stage in her career, they're not exactly editing Elizabeth Gilbert's words too much. Because it is really, really, really just poetry. And I just wanted to kind of read a little bit to you, because sometimes it's fun just to sit back and get read to. And this is the beginning of the book. And she steps in. Oh, I will not get to it before it gets discussed, but it sounds absolutely amazing, and we'll be reading it soon. I'm a bit behind on your book club selections, but I'm catching up, so to speak. Every single book club selection you have made so far is extraordinary. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that, but really the thanks go to the writers, to the extraordinary writers. So I'm going to read something just in the beginning, because, and I might choose something. I thought I had something highlighted, and now I can't find it. I've read this so much that it's like all the pages are crimpled, and it's got water stains in it and all kinds of things. All right, so this is chapter 1. Now, it's really interesting. Before the chapters actually begin, the book begins, and there's kind of a beautiful introduction, and I'm just going to read that a little bit. Now, I also want you to know that this took Elizabeth Gilbert 6 years to write, 6 years of research. Now, during this time, she was writing the book. And I'm hopefully, I can't promise, but I'm hopefully going to get her in at the end of the month, so to see if she'll come in and chat with us, because the way she speaks about it is just so beautiful. She has such a gentle wisdom about her. And if you've never been in the space with Liz Gilbert or taken any of her classes, I would highly recommend you treat yourself to a class, because she, just being in her energy and hearing her teach is really pretty extraordinary. She has a wisdom, a zen about her that I've really not experienced with very many spiritual teachers. And all of you know, I've been working with all of these teachers for a very long time. And Liz Gilbert really has a presence about her that is really pretty amazing. So it did take her 6 years to write the book and to research the book, because she did find a woman, I think 1 or 2 women, I think they must have been in their 90s by this point, who were showgirls in New York City in the 40s. And she interviewed them over and over again and had many conversations with them. And so a lot of what's in the book is really what these actual women experienced. So it's very fascinating. And then, of course, she created an entire beautiful story around all this. Now, also during this time in Liz's life, in Liz Gilbert's life, she was involved, part of the time, she was involved with her partner, Rhea. And Rhea was in the process of actually transitioning from this world. She was actually in the process of dying, and she went through this whole very, very painful and bittersweet, as she calls it, challenging few years with Rhea after she was diagnosed with cancer, and was by her side during that whole time and in the process of writing this book as well. Okay, so here we go. And then I'm going to read a little bit, and then I've got some exciting news for you guys. Okay, it's really good news. And it's about Liz Gilbert. Okay. New York City, April 2010. I received a letter from his daughter the other day, Angela. I'd thought about Angela many times over the years, but this was only our 3rd interaction. The first was when I'd made her wedding dress back in 1971. The second was when she'd written to tell me that her father had died. That was in 1977. Now she was writing to let me know that her mother had just passed away. I'm not sure how Angela expected me to receive this news. She might have guessed it would throw me for a loop. That said, I don't suspect malice on her part. Angela is just not constructed that way. She's a good person, more important, an interesting one. I was awfully surprised, though, to hear that Angela's mother had lasted this long. I'd assumed the woman had died ages ago. God knows everyone else has. But why should anyone's longevity surprise me when I myself have clung to existence like a barnacle to a boat bottom? I can't be the only ancient woman still tottering around New York City, absolutely refusing to abandon either her life or her real estate. It was the last line of Angela's letter, though, that impacted me the most. Vivian, Angela wrote, given that my mother has passed away, I wonder if you might now feel comfortable telling me what you were to my father. Well then, what was I to her father? Only he could have answered that question. And since he never chose to discuss me with his daughter, it's not my place to tell Angela what I was to him. I can, however, tell her what he was to me. Oh, And then the story begins. And chapter 1, I'm going to read just the first couple of paragraphs to you in chapter 1. In the summer of 1940, when I was 19 years old and an idiot, my parents sent me to live with my Aunt Peg, who owned a theater company in New York City. I had recently been excused from Vassar College on account of never having attended classes and thereby failing every single one of my freshman exams. I was not quite as dumb as my grades made me look, but apparently it really doesn't help if you don't study. Looking back on it now, I cannot fully recall what I'd been doing with my time during those many hours that I ought to have spent in class, but knowing me, I suppose I was terribly preoccupied with my appearance. I do remember that I was trying to master a reverse roll that year, a hairspraying technique that, while infinitely important to me and also quite challenging, was not very Vassar. Okay. So if you haven't picked up the book, you gotta get the book. The story is so exquisite. And then next time when I come on, I'm going to come on next week. When you get the book, so make sure you get the book right away. And we're going to go through and let's have at least the first 6 chapters read. But I think you're going to get more than the first 6 chapters. So next week, I'm going to talk about the first 6 chapters, and they're very juicy, and they're very, very fun, and it's very sexy. I'd love to hear what all of you have to say about those first 6 chapters. I would love to hear all of your feedback on it. So on that note of Elizabeth Gilbert, got something really kind of exciting to share. So I think many of you were aware that we were doing a live event with Elizabeth Gilbert and Rob Bell. Now, Elizabeth Gilbert is a creative genius in her own right. And then throw in Rob Bell. And if you're not familiar with Rob Bell, you have got to check him out. If you go to YouTube, just Google Rob Bell and you'll see some interviews that he's done. And I think he's got something out on YouTube called Joy. At any rate, so we were supposed to do the live event, and Rob and Elizabeth toured with Oprah together, with Iyanla Vanzant and Deepak Chopra and Rob Bell and Elizabeth Gilbert. They've toured with Oprah many times. They've been on Secret Soul Sunday, Super Soul Sunday several times. So he is quite the creative genius and luminary in and of himself. He's just a lovely, lovely human being. So we were supposed to do this live event in Arizona in May. And then we postponed it. And we moved it to October, the end of October. We thought, okay, we're definitely going to be able to do October. So we make plans and the universe says, okay, let's see how well you are able to adapt and change and move with the energy of what is, right? So we made the executive decision the other day to move the entire program to an online event. And I know it's not the same as being in person, but I gotta tell you, Liz and Rob together are going to be off the charts fabulous. This is going to be a virtual online extravaganza with the two of them teaching. It's a full day workshop on Saturday, October 31st. If you go to our website, if you go to celebrateyourlife.com, that's our website, celebrateyourlife.com, you can check it out. We are going to have such a fabulous time. We're going to make sure that it's intimate, that you get to ask questions, that you get to do different exercises. So we're really, really working to make sure that this is an intimate, fabulous, connected, heartfelt experience. Because one of the things that Liz Gilbert and Rob wanted to do, they wanted to continue moving forward with this event because we had our choice of moving this to 2021 and we still might do that, but also doing it online. And they chose to do it online. With everything going on in the world today, they want to continue their work. They realize that so many people right now need the inspiration. We need the community. We'll be coming together in community. We'll be coming together. We'll have like a private Facebook group where we can all chat about it and talk about it and get excited about it. So make sure and check it out. If it resonates for you, come and join us. I know they're going to give, they are such givers. They're going to give so much creative wisdom. And the whole focus of it is how to imagine and using your imagination and your creativity in your life, especially to get through these wild and challenging and interesting times that we're going through right now. So check that out. Come be with us. You're going to love it. I'm going to love it. It's another party. We're just taking it online. And I'm really happy we're doing this, because the one thing that's always bothered me about our events is that there's so many people all throughout the world that want to be there and just can't afford to travel, the hotel expenses, the travel costs. So you're going to save oodles and oodles of money. You're going to save a ton of money, no travel costs, no hotel, no worrying about getting to the hotel, no worrying about wearing masks. We're going to stay healthy. We're going to stay at home. You can show up in your pajamas. You probably will be seen on screen, but you can always shut your video off. You can just roll out of bed and just join us for the day. So that's what we're going to be doing Saturday, October 1st. So make sure and pick up the book, check out the event, see if it works for you. I know you're going to love it. And then next week, we're going to be talking about the first 6 chapters. So read chapters 1 through 6. All right. So we can have kind of a lively conversation. All right, you guys. That's it for now. Just wanted to pop in, let you know what's going on this end of the world. And I hope all of you are staying happy, healthy, and whole. Sending all of you so much love. All right. I'll see you later. Mwah.